Good morning, everybody. I've got a DCU update for you guys today, and boy, have things gotten crazy over the last couple of days. Now, there was some big news that dropped yesterday, but I'm still in the middle of painting my house, and this is why my updates have been slow coming in. Painted my entire downstairs and upstairs, and now I'm working on the trim all over the house, and it is time consuming, and it's a much bigger job than I was anticipating. I've lived in my house for 18 years, and it looked like it, so I had to do a lot of repairs on some of the rounded corners, and it was fun doing my stairwell over the weekend. So it's been all time consuming, and that's why my updates have been slow to come. But this information came out yesterday, and we're going to talk about it today. The fact that Zack Snyder has essentially moved on, and we're going to talk about that. That'll be at the end of the video, but I want to talk about a couple of other things first. So supposedly, the new DCU Batman has been chosen and will be revealed in the Flash movie. Now, in regards to the Flash, the official trailer is coming out Super Bowl Sunday, but not during the Super Bowl at the game. It's not going to air on TV. Because of the cost of advertising during the Super Bowl, what they're going to do is they're going to release the full trailer around kickoff time at 6:30 p.m. Well, I think it's 8:30 p.m. or 8:30 Eastern or something like that. I can't remember exactly when kickoff is, but they're going to release the trailer online, the full trailer, and then at the end of the first quarter, somewhere in there, they're going to show a short 30-second commercial teaser during the Super Bowl. That way they don't have to spend, tens of millions of dollars for advertising to show a full trailer. So they're not going to show the full trailer on TV. It will be available online, and then they're going to do a teaser during the game. So be ready for that. It'll be interesting to see if there's different footage during that teaser, because this movie comes out soon, and it's crazy that we have not had an official trailer up until now, which seems ridiculous. But talking about the Flash and this cameo, I'm going to show you guys this information that just came out. Now, this information is coming from Grace Randolph, my favorite person to despise here on Twitter. But she said that I hear that it's going to be a former Batman who cameos at the end of The Flash and could potentially stick around as the new permanent DCU Batman. Damian's dad, Pattinson, is still solo. I know who it is, but it would be uncool to reveal the whole thing. Okay, if you're looking at all of these, there is no way they're bringing Clooney back. He was the worst Batman of them all. And there's no way they're bringing Kilmer back unless they want him to be an invalid. That's not going to work. So the only option is Bale. And we need to talk about Bale coming back as Batman. Look, I loved the Nolan films. I absolutely love the Nolan trilogy of Batman films. I think it's one of the greatest trilogies ever created. But do I want to see Christian Bale back as Batman? No, I don't. If it stayed in the Nolanverse and Christopher Nolan came back, then yeah, I'd be okay with that as its own standalone thing. But I do not want him mingling with these other superheroes. I just don't see it working. And I got to be honest with you, after seeing Ben Affleck as Batman in that warehouse scene and the fighting he did, I don't want a slow-moving Batman back. And Christian Bale is I think he's my age, and he ain't getting any younger. So I don't want to see him going toe-to-toe with Damian. I don't think they'd be able to do the fight scenes justice. And I do know that they use obviously stunt doubles. That's what they did with Affleck. Affleck didn't do all those moves during the warehouse scene, but at the same time, they can't change it up so much that you don't believe that it's Christian Bale's Batman. Now, they could say he's a different version of Batman from the universe. Who knows? But I think that's going to be the plan going forward. That's the only... I'm not okay with that happening. I don't know that a lot of people would like to see that happen. It's great to see him back as Batman, but I just don't see that working in the universe. Now, if they do go that route, they're going to have to flesh out the whole Ra's al Ghul storyline a lot more than they did in the movies. Because, this first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. And, hey, if you're going to have something like this happen with Damien, then you're going to have to really explain the Al Ghul family. And, she died at the end of the third film, and I don't think they have any plans on probably bringing Talia back. But they would almost have to if they're going to go this route. So that's going to be something interesting to see moving forward. I don't see that being as a plausible thing. Now, before I talk about Zack Snyder's comments, I do want to talk about an event that is happening this coming Tuesday. And I'm going to talk about how this is a great segue into the comments that James Gunn made yesterday on social media. All right, everybody, so there is a national event, well, not a national, a worldwide event happening on Tuesday, February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, but they wanted to do it because of the runtime of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and you could see the times where they're going to want you to get on Twitter and to hashtag sell Zack Snyder Justice League to Netflix and sell Snyderverse to Netflix. This is something that has been planned for a while. I haven't mentioned it on my channel, but I will be a part of this because I do want to see that storyline concluded, and then whatever James Gunn and Warner Brothers wants to do, by all means have at it. But I am so sick and tired of Warner Brothers starting stuff and not finishing it. So this is absolutely what I will be a part of on Tuesday, and I encourage anybody who is a Snyder fan, the Snyderverse fans, to go ahead and tweet on that same day. And let's make some noise because I can tell you what, we do have James Gunn is afraid of this movement, which I'm going to show you guys now. So this leads me to my last story that has to do with Zack Snyder and James Gunn. So the other day, someone asked, didn't ask, they hashtagged sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. In which case, James Gunn replied with, I have to say, this has got to be the wackiest hashtag ever, since 1, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. And 2, Zack hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing. And yes, we too have talked. Someone else asked, what'd y'all talk about? He contacted me to express his support about my choices. He's a great guy. Again, he seems really happy with the massive world building he's doing now. All right, let's talk about this here. This is the information that broke the internet yesterday. Everybody's talking about this. I got direct messages. People were sending me stuff. And here's what I have to say about this. Of course, Zack Snyder is going to be very cordial and friendly with James Gunn. Because, when he got kicked out and wanted to get Zack Snyder, his Justice League movie released, he was never derogatory towards the studio, never made any disparaging comments. He's a class act. I will tell you that. He is a class act. And he will sit back in the shadows and wait until the time is right. And that's because Zack Snyder is a very patient guy. He doesn't burn bridges. Now, James Gunn, on the other hand, is burning just about every bridge you can envision at this stage because he started making disparaging comments about his old employer, Disney, just the other day over at Marvel. He was talking about how when his Guardians of the Galaxy, and this shows he is a narcissist because he's talking about how successful his Guardians of the Galaxy was, and that after that movie got released and the studio saw the success, that Marvel wanted to make every movie like that, which they did. You could see how goofy the Thor movies got as time went on, and they all got goofier as time went on. And he says that tonally you can't have all those different properties be the same. So he said in the DCU, all of the different projects are going to have their own tone moving forward, which does make sense. That's how it should be. But I still don't think Gunn is the guy to be in charge of all of this. And with all the comments he's made to piss off DC fans, Henry Cavill fans, Zack Snyder fans, and now he's going after his former employer, I can tell you what, he's got to make this thing with DC work, because if he doesn't make this thing with DC work, his career is over. He's done. He's going to be put in the shadows somewhere, and he will never have a big job ever again. So here are my thoughts on the whole Zack Snyder thing. Like I said, Zack Snyder will sit in the shadows. He's patient. It doesn't mean that this is over yet, okay? Everyone said for years, I argued with people online saying, we're never going to see Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's never going to happen. And I'm like, just, until things are done, they're not done. And the fact is, this story is not completed. And Zack Snyder has always showed interest in continuing this story. Same with all the actors involved. So if he has to sit back and wait 4 or 5 years for the whole DCU to explode and implode and just get scattered to the seas, he'll do that. He'll wait. He'll be patient, and then maybe get to finish his story. That is not hopeful thinking on my part. That's the realistic view on the situation that's going on. If things go south, which they very well could with the whole DCU, then there's no reason why they're not going to bring Zack Snyder back in to finish his story. And they absolutely could sell it to Netflix. Yes, he has started a whole new franchise, which I'm looking forward to with Rebel Moon. It doesn't mean he's abandoned DC. He's never made any comments. He didn't talk about, he hasn't come out and made any comments about talking about his support for James Gunn. This is James Gunn being that narcissist to show that, hey, everybody likes me. Everybody likes what's going on. This is wonderful. They're trying to, it sounds like our government here in America telling us everything's good while people can't afford food, gas, and everything else. And it's freaking hilarious to watch. Things are not all roses over at the DCU. He's ruffled the feathers of the people who employ him now with some of the stuff he said in the past. So we're going to see what happens going forward. I'm not a fan of Bale coming back as Batman for the DCU. I think they need to get somebody fresh and new in there that is going to be the force behind the camera, like what Ben Affleck was in Batman versus Superman. We need to see a Batman that can fight, that is ripped directly out of the comics. The Bale version of Batman is too grounded in real life. So those are my thoughts. All right, what do you guys think about all this information that came out? I will see you on the next update.